Football fans, football Fakier, and I'm back with another episode in the Road to the World Cup, the series that I've started here on YouTube. So in today's video, I'll be reacting to Coach Hugo Broos' preliminary squad. Yes, the South African coach has only announced his preliminary squad now. He will make his full squad announcement next week, Wednesday on the 27th, as announced. He selected 32 names. It will be narrowed down to 26, obviously. Some interesting names on the list, some interesting names left out of the list. So let's jump straight into the video. So before we continue and jump into the video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do share this out to all your friends and family. It really helps the channel grow. We do interact with all the people who comment. So thank you so much if you have liked, subscribe, and comment on the previous videos. If not, we do appreciate you for just watching. However, please don't be shy. It takes nothing to hit the subscribe or the like button. So the goalkeepers that Hugo Broos selected are Ronald Williams, Ricardo Goss, Sipo China, and Brandon Peterson. Ronaldo Lina misses out, unfortunately. For me personally, I feel that he should be there just because of his age. He's younger than the rest. All these four goalkeepers are 30 and above. Sipo China turns 30 later in the year. Ronald Williams is number one. We can say what we want, we can disagree, but Ronald Williams will captain the side. I feel personally Sipo China is the best number two out of the three goalkeepers there. Some will say Sipo China should be the number one goalkeeper, but unfortunately, Ronald Williams' experience will edge Ronald to be the number one. And should anything happen where Williams does not play for some other reason, I feel Sipo China can just slot into that position and do equally good. Good shot stopper, can play out from the back, and he's good in penalties as well. And then if you look at the third spot available to the goalkeepers to be on the flight too, I personally feel that they're only going to select three goalkeepers. I don't think we should select four goalkeepers first of all, so that's why I'm saying the third spot. Ricardo Goss, I think he's one of the goalkeepers who's fine with being number three. He's fine with not playing. He's there to encourage the boys. He's supporting the team. He's always motivating, always giving instructions, always smiling. And I think he's just patiently waiting his turn to play. I think with Brandon Peterson, the announcement is for his work that he's done in the season. Some would say the best goalkeeper this season. But I just feel that because Ricardo Goss has been in the setup under Coach Hugo Broos, Ricardo Goss will go to the World Cup and Brandon Peterson will just miss out. So let's have a look at the defending all announced together. So it's Kolisa Mudau, Olweto Makanya, Bradley Cross, Tabiso Moniani, Tabang Matulidi, Nkosinati Sibisi, Aubrey Mudiba, Kulemani Ndamani, Imi Okon, Sumakele Kabini, and Imikesele Mbukazi. Players who left or are left out is in Gezana. I'm happy for that. Of this AFCON performance, I just feel that he's too slow for international football. They will just target him, get him behind, and we saw in the AFCON how he was a liability to the squad. Grant Kekana and Nokiano Kipedo, I at least felt that Kipedo should be in the squad, if not both. I just feel those two bring experience, and we saw in the last AFCON when we didn't have Mvala and we didn't have Grant Kekana, how we struggled. Mbokazi is young. He fills in that left centre-back slot so good. But I feel our right centre-back spot is up for grabs. And that's where I feel like Kekana could have come in or Kipedo and would have started. Obviously, Coach Hugo Broos doesn't see them fit for the squad, so I'm a bit sad about that. But nonetheless, there is some players mentioned. So the players who I feel, and I don't even have to give you a reason why I feel they will be there, Mbokazi, Mudau, and Aubrey Mutiba, those three will be starting the first game, definitely. I don't think you get a better right back on the continent of Africa than Kolisa Mudau. On the ball is good. Going forward, defending, he's just a joy to watch. Mbokazi, the darling of South African football at the moment, flying straight in the MLS. He's just a natural footballer. He's strong. He's good in the air. Can play out from the back. He has a shot on him, as we saw against Panama, the goal that he scored against Orlando Pirates last season. Olweto Makanya is a name that no one expected to be here. And I don't think that Coach Hugo Broos will select him if he's not going to see him, if we're not going to see him at the World Cup. He plays for Philadelphia Union in the USA, and I feel he will just be good. He will be acclimatized to the conditions, and that's why he's selected. He's big, he's strong, similar to Mbokazi. He has a bit of speed on him. because there was one match where he played against Messi, if I'm correct, and he man-marked Messi out of the game. So I feel there won't be a reason why his name is mentioned here if Coach Hugo Broos doesn't see him on the plane. The next three players, Bradley Cross, Tapiso Moniani, and Tabang Matulidi, I feel these three players are being mentioned for their hard work they're doing throughout the season. But I personally don't feel any one of them gets on the aeroplane and goes to the World Cup. But the next players is obviously Kosinati Sibisi and Kulaman Ndamani. Centre backs, I think they will go. Ndamani has showed his quality at Sundowns. Sibisi has been around. Sibisi will, the summer to Ricardo Goss, I feel Sibisi is another player who's okay with not playing, just being in the squad, being there for the boys. He's Orlando Pirates captain. Um, he doesn't mind not playing. He's there to motivate, support, always singing. And then the last two players is Imi Ocon and Samakela Kabini. Imi Ocon against Panama in the international friendlies, he looked decent, physical, has speed in him. I won't be surprised if he starts alongside Mbokazi in the opening match against Mexico. And then Kabini, he can play either right back or left back. He's just there to be a replacement player. He's played in Norway. We saw him play in the AFCON. Where he was selected in one game. He was decent. But that is the defenders. So let's look at the midfielders. This is just your center midfielders or your defensive midfielders. There are 6 names here. 4 of the 6 names provided we expected to be there. So it's the Mokoena, Jaden Adams, Talent Mbata, and Yaya Sitole. Those 4 we obviously expect to be there. And then they have Brooklyn Pochenpoel and Lebogang Mabue. 2 players who I feel are awarded for the season they had. Mabue, we know he was an attacker or a striker and a winger at Sundowns, but came to Chiefs and he's being played as a number 8. And he's turning his career around, at Sundowns, limited game time with all the players they had, comes to Chiefs, and now he's doing the job. And players who are missing out, obviously Makaula from Orlando Pirates. Pirates fans want him in the squad. I just feel that to make your Bafana debut at 36 is a bit too far of a stretch. To reward him for the work that he's put in the last 2 seasons, I feel should have rewarded him and being in the squad. But I just feel his age is against him. Another player who misses out is Batusi Obas, who's currently injured at the moment. We know he's always been in Coach Hugo Broos' squads, has been to the past. He's always there. And then one player who's been overlooked, in my opinion, yes, we know he made the mistake once at South Africa game, and he's never been selected after that, is Yusuf Mart. I personally feel Yusuf Mart is a player who can come on for Tebogo Mokoena, or if Tebogo Mokoena is not available for any selection, Yusuf Mart has the same attributes as. But let's look at the players that are here. Tebogo Mokoena, first name on the team sheet. He's the heart and soul of Bafana Bafana. Without Tebogo Mokoena, South Africa will struggle. And I posed this question yesterday. Who replaces Tebogo Mokoena if he's unavailable, if he's injured or he's suspended? And I hope nothing happens with him leading up to the World Cup and when we're in the World Cup. He just provides so much for us in defense and attack, like I mentioned now. And there is a name mentioned here who I feel can assist the team, but doesn't bring the same attributes. But Tebogo Mokoena, first name on the team sheet, he will start every game. And then it's always who plays with Debza. Jaden Adams, alongside Tebogo Mokoena, has been brilliant. Ever since he hasn't been announced in the last AFCON squad, he turned his football around, playing brilliant football for Sundowns. And in the last international friendlies against Panama, he was just brilliant to watch. And then Bata and Yaya Sitole. Yaya, he's been there. He provides you that stability in defense. A bit slow in midfield. It's going to be tough against Mexico and Korea Republic, I feel, because those teams are going to run at us. Where against Czech Republic, when you need that physicality, I think then you play Yaya. And then Talent Mbata deserves to be there, scored some crucial goals for us to make us qualify for the World Cup. He has an eye for goal. He can control the game. Also a bit slow, but I feel Talent is a player who you can play coming from the bench and control the game if you're leading. Or if you need that goal, you can bring him on as another midfielder. to drive the team forward and to get that long range shots in. So with that, I think one of the other two players won't be on the squad or won't be in the World Cup squad between Brooklyn and Mabue. I feel Pokenpoel misses out mainly because of I just don't think he's proven himself enough to be in the squad. Um, I would love to have him there. Don't get me wrong. His age will be perfect for the squad, as you can then build with him long term. But I feel what we're looking for is someone in Mabue who you can bring on from the bench again in that number 8 position, and then just drive the team forward, playing at short 1-2s. He comes from Sunderland, so he knows majority of the players. You won't feel out of place. I think you will fit in as a glove if you should play with a 3-man midfield, and you have Jaden Adams as your defensive midfielder, and ahead of him you'll have Mabue and Makwena should we need a goal, or you can even play Mabue as your number 10 if you need to, because he has that ability. So I feel Brooklyn might miss out. He will be one of the players who doesn't go to the World Cup, and the rest, I feel deserve to be there. They've proved themselves. So I think should we play a 2-man midfield, it'll be Mokoena and Jaden Adams. A 3-man midfield, we might just see Yaya being the defensive midfield against the Czech Republic. And then you have Jaden and Tipocho ahead of him. And if need be, you can bring on your Mabues and your Talent and Batas. So now forwards, I personally feel that all of these forwards will go, besides maybe one. And then that will then conclude the 6 players not going. So if you look at the forwards, we have Ozonopolis, Sapeng Moremi, Evidence Mahopa, Lau Foster, Ikram Reines, Rebo Ilo Mufukeng, Temba Zoani, Patrick Tito Masangwani, Kamagelo Sebelebele, Tapela Morena, and Tapela Maseko. Players who misses out, obviously, majority of South Africans wanted him because he loads there. He can play across the front 3 and also in attacking midfielder. He's not there. A player who I personally wanted to be, or 2 players who I wanted to see, there's Tasrik Matthews and Keith Links. I think with Tassi he's just a natural forward, eye for goal, can get in behind, creates chances, and he's one of the few players in South Africa who gets in that opportunities in big games, who gets in that goal scoring position, and I feel he would have been the key one chance. We know, yes, he has a bad track record of missing opportunities in big games, but I feel he's one of the players who will get there and he could score as a goal. Keith Links plays in Europe, can provide you with good left foot. He's a traditional winger, can play left back as well. So if anything should have happened to Aubrey Mutiba, you can have Keith Links who can cover both left wing and left back. And then Kota's not in the squad, left out since the last AFCON, him and Sipombule, and we haven't heard of Sipombule ever since. And from Kota, like Coach Hugo Broos said, it's a discipline issue, and I don't think he has been playing much in Saudi as well. And with the list that I mentioned, obviously our 2 number 10s, Temba Zoani and Tito Masangwani, one of them might start, which I feel will be then Tito and Temba from the bench, or Rele might start in the number 10 position, and both of them will then play on the bench. Ozonopola starts, he will be our winger. And on the other wing, again, it all depends on where we're playing Rele. We play Rele as a number 10, Moremi on the wing, but I think our wingers should be Ozonopolis and Rele Buile Mofokeng, mainly because if you're going to play without the number 10, Rele can drift inside and operate the number 10 position, and then our wingers can go forward. But if you're playing with Tito or Temba Zoani Rele on the other wing, Ikram Reina should start. I don't think Lau Foster or Mahopa starts ahead of him, just because Iki gives you directness. He wants to score. Lau and Evidence might be required against your more physical side, your public. The opening game against Mexico, I feel we need to go Sitola in midfield sitting, and then ahead of him should just be Jaden Adams, Tibogo Mokoena, and then your front 3 is, like I mentioned, is Oswald Apollos maybe on the left or the right, Mufokeng on the other side, so Mufokeng be your number 10 and create the overlap, and then Ikram Reines, your number 9. Sebele And Tapela Morena, I think one of them will miss out, mainly because I think they're similar players. Can play the right midfielder, right wing, or even right back. And I do feel Sibele Bela might miss out just because he has been part of Hugo Broos' setup. He's been international call-ups, the AFCONs before. Um, so Morena goes with Tapela Maseko, again, a player who I personally feel doesn't show enough when he plays. And if you know you're not going to use a player a lot, then rather take a younger player. Um, you could have taken Sandra Campbell, who missed out, or Ditejani, who's not also in the squad. I would have taken one of them too instead of Tapelo Maseko. But again, Tapelo has been in Hugo Bross's plans always. He's been at the AFCON, so he knows that international pedigree, he knows how to play international tournaments. So again, the only one of the out of this list who I feel misses out will be Sibelebele. And that is my thoughts on the 32-man squad that Coach Hugo Broos selected as his preliminary squad. And I just made a selection of who I think will go to the World Cup. Please know that this is just my views and my thoughts on players who I think will go. Each and every player does deserve to go to the World Cup. Unfortunately, only 26 players can go. Please let me know who you think should go to the World Cup out of these players and who should be left out. It's me, Football Fakir. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. And yeah, what do I know about football?